Good afternoon, everyone. The time is now 1 o'clock, so we will begin our session. Thank you for joining us today for our employer portal training session on the change of enrollment process. My name is Michael Guerrero. I'm a pension analyst with Employer Services, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. I will now hand it over to Sandy to begin today's session.
Thank you, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our third training session on the Employer Portal. My name is Sandy Cook, and I'm the Manager of Employer Services. Christine Wachira, Pension Analyst with the Employer Services team, and Marcia Patterson, Pension Analyst with our Quality Assurance team, will be presenting today. Bill Hurley, Team Lead for Employer Services, and Jack Shamy-Nagowski, Pension Analyst with our Quality Assurance team, will be assisting with your questions today. We're excited to share another feature that's part of the Employer Portal Phase 1 rollout with you. We'll start by going over the portal timelines and then review the change of employment process. We will then have a live demo and answer any questions you may have. Before I turn it over to Christine, let's look at our portal timeline. We've completed the training on enrollment, retirement and termination processes, and addressed questions in the employer Q&A session. Today, we are going to review the change of employment process in the portal. Here is the timeline for the member portal. By now, you should have received your registration package in the mail. We hope you have had a chance to go into the portal and are finding it helpful. Please reach out to our employer pension analysts with any questions or concerns you may have. We really appreciate receiving your feedback. Some of you should have received the pass-along email for your members. We will roll this out to the rest of you over the next couple of weeks. Your employer PA will provide you with the pass-along email. As previously noted, we will send another communication to active members encouraging them to sign on and elect to have their annual pension statement provided to them on the portal. Paper statements will be mailed to everyone who is not elected to receive their statement on the portal. I will now pass it over to Christine, who will walk you through the change of employment process.
Thanks, Sandy. I will now walk you through the change of employment process using the portal. By submitting the change of employment via the portal, you can avoid having to complete and send the change of employment form to the plan. The information that is submitted via the portal will be sent directly to the pension administrating system for processing. To start a change of employment process, select the change of employment link on the left-hand sidebar. You can also access the change of employment process while viewing a member's profile. The first step is to search for the member who requires a change of employment information. You can search using their SIN, member ID, first name, or last name. Once you click Submit, the results will be displayed in the search results box below. If you search by first name or last name, you will get a list of potential matches. Choose a desired member to begin the process. Upon selecting the member, you will be directed to the Change of Employment page where you can begin the process. The portal will display the information that we currently have for the member on file. This includes their first name, middle initial, last name, social insurance number, and date of birth. Please verify that you are processing the intended member before proceeding. For employers offering both plan designs, if you are changing a member's plan design, the portal will automatically change the member's corresponding employment type. For example, if a full-time DB Prime member was changing plan designs to DB Plus, the new employment type will automatically change to other than regular full-time / contract. Please note that future dates cannot be entered for this process. You will only be able to change a member's employment information retroactively or on the effective date of the change. You can also change a member's employee group if required. You will have the ability to change or update a member's jurisdiction of employment. You will need to provide the new jurisdiction of employment and the effective date. You can also change a member's hire date or their enrollment date if required. You will be able to view the current dates that we have on file and provide revised dates. The date of change field will automatically be pre-populated to the current date, but it can be edited to another date prior to the current date if applicable. For DB Prime members, we require that you provide the member's earnings, service, contributions, and pension adjustment information for the period prior to the employment change. The from date would be the later of January 1st or the end date of any previously reported in-year events. The to date should be the date before the effective date of the change of employment. When providing the member's pensionable earnings, please separate the basic earnings from lump sum earnings. You will be asked if the previous year's DCT has been submitted. If you select no because the DCT has not been submitted, a section will appear, prompting you to enter the member's previous year earnings, service, contributions, and pension adjustment information. For DB Plus members, you will be required to update the member's current eligible earnings, employer contributions, and member contributions. Similarly, the from date would be the later of January 1st or the end date of any previously reported in-year events. The to date would be the date before the effective date of the change of employment. You will also be asked to select yes or no if the DCT has been submitted for the previous year. If the DCT has not been submitted, a drop-down menu will appear prompting you to enter the previous year's information. Under the employer authorization, your name and current date will be pre-populated. If you want to assign the task to another user, you can choose their name from the drop-down list. This is not mandatory and will default to you if it is not assigned to another user. If you choose to assign the transaction to another user, select the individual from the drop-down list. If you would like the assigned individual to view and approve the change of employment information prior to submission, please select their name and press Save. Once a member of your team assigns a transaction to you, it will appear on your message center. The message can be seen in the search results box. Please note that for the time being, you will have to check your message center for assigned processes. Once our notification processes go live, notification preferences should be updated to ensure that you can receive all notices. The message can also be seen in the Transaction in Process section of the dashboard. Once the change of employment process is completed, click on Save, and you will see the message that the new change process was successfully saved. If the save is not successful, you will see a pop-up box that states, failed to save the new change of employment process. After you have successfully saved the change of employment process, you will automatically be redirected to the dashboard of the portal. You will be able to see the change of employment information in your recent activity section and in the transactions in process section. You can retrieve the change of employment information you saved from the transaction in process section. When you are ready to send your change of employment process to the plan via the portal, you will need to validate the data by clicking on the Validate button. If there are no errors or warnings, you will see the message that the validation has passed and you can now submit to the plan. If you are not able to validate because of an error, you will be directed to where the issues are that need to be corrected. You may also receive a validation warning. advising you to review specific information prior to submission. Please note that you may still submit a change of employment process with warnings, but you will not be able to submit them with errors. When you are ready to send the process, click on the Send to CAT button, accept the terms of use, and click OK. After you have clicked OK, you will see the message that the transaction was successfully sent to CAT, and the portal will provide you with the tracking number. You can click Done, or if you require a copy of the change of employment information form for your files, you can click on Download/Print. If you click Download/Print, you will see a PDF version of the change of employment form with the information that you have provided in the portal. This is not required to be sent to the plan. You will now see in your dashboard that you have sent the change of employment to CAT in the Transaction Sent to CAT section and in your Recent Activity section. I will now pass it over to Marcia for the live demo.
Thank you, Christine. So once you've signed in, you're directed to the dashboard. To start the change of employment process, you can either search for the member through the quick search on the dashboard and click on the member in the search results. Here you'll see the member's information, employment information, employment history, contact information, member plan history, and forms. At this point, you can click the change of employment process in the Start a New Process section. The other option is to click the change of employment in the navigation bar on the left. Now that you've confirmed that you have the correct member, you can start the change. For the member personal information, this displays the member's name, social insurance number, and date of birth. These fields cannot be changed. However, if a change is required, it should be made by the member through the member portal. The Information Changes section is where you would change a member's employment information. Currently, this member's plan design is DB Prime. We will change this to DB Plus. Once that is changed, the member's employment type is automatically changed to the correct status, which is OTRFT, other than regular full-time contract status. Enter the end date of the previous plan design and the start date of the new plan design. The end date of the previous employment type and start date of the new employment type will automatically populate with the dates entered in the plan design fields. The change of employee group can be changed if required with the effective date of change. The change to the member's jurisdiction of employment is also a field that can be changed if required. Corrections to the member's date of hire or enrollment date, this can also be changed if needed. Earnings, contributions, and service for DB Prime. This must be completed when there is a change to the member's employment information, which we have done above. So we'll enter the current year information for the previous plan design. So the from date and the to date. So service, pensionable earnings, lump sum if required, annual salary rate, basic contributions, RCA contributions if required, and pension adjustment. If the DCT for the previous year has been submitted, you will click the Yes Radio button and continue. However, if it has not been submitted, you will click on No and enter the required information. So for here, we'll assume that for this member, the last reported data is from January 1st, 2020 to June 15th, 2020. Since the DCT has not been submitted, we will report the data from June 16th to December 31st, 2020 by entering the required information. So the from date is 16th of June, 2020 to December 31st, 2020. Pensionable service, pensionable earnings, annual salary rate, basic contributions, and pension adjustment. All the applicable information has been entered. For the employer authorization, in this section, the employer HR representative field displays the name of the person who has started this process with the current date. Here you have the option to leave the HR rep to assign the task to another user or leave it blank. If you assign the process to another user, enter the user's name in the assigned to field or click on the double arrows in the drop down and pick the person that you want to assign to. Once assigned, click on Save. A pop-up box will be displayed stating whether or not the transaction was saved successfully. And then once it's successfully saved, you are redirected back to the dashboard. Here you can view the task in the recent activities, where it will show the change of employment and that it's been assigned to another user. You can also see the task in the transactions and progress section. The person the task was assigned to will be able to view the task in their message center that can be accessed on the navigation bar. They will be able to view the task in the search results below. If there are any changes that are required to the task, or that person who has been assigned to needs to go back into that task, they can go back to the dashboard and click on the transaction in progress. And this will open up the task. Once everything has been confirmed, they can confirm all the information is done correctly by clicking Validate before submitting to CAT. A pop-up box will display stating if the validation has passed and is ready to be submitted. However, a warning box may be displayed advising of warnings on the page and they are to be reviewed before submitting to CAT. As they are just warnings, this will not stop you from submitting if no changes are made. Now, you will also notice that there is a delete button. This will allow you to completely remove this process from the portal. When you click on the delete button, a pop-up box will display confirming that you want to delete this process. Click OK, and another pop-up box will be displayed confirming the transaction has been deleted. Again, you will be redirected back to the dashboard, and you will see in the recent activities section that the change of employment has been deleted and by who, and is also deleted from the transactions in progress section. When the user is ready to submit to CAT, they would click on send to CAT. Again, warnings will pop up, but you can still submit. Accept the terms of use. Click OK. And another pop-up box will be displayed if submitted successfully, showing a tracking ID number. To view the form that has been created, click on Download and Print. And you can see the change of employment form that has been created. This can be downloaded and saved for your own files, and again, does not have to be submitted to CAT. Once you click Done, you're redirected back to the dashboard where you can see in the recent activity, the actual transaction that has been submitted to CAT, and in transactions sent to CAT, change of employment.
This concludes our employer portal training session. If you have any questions or feedback, please reach out to your employer PA. We will keep you informed as more portal functionality is released, and will provide further updates and training. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great afternoon, everybody.